Alright, welcome to another version of our version 5. Now, we'll be looking at question number 12. When you look at question number 12, it's asking you increase the price by 12% for the product type iPhone 12 Pro. So basically, we want to update this price. The price was previously a particular price, but now we want to increase 20% on this price. Do you understand? So let's identify the tables here. We have the product table, we have what price and also type of the product. And then did they give us any price amount? No. What of the type of the product? Yes, this is what 12 what Pro, isn't it? It is iPhone 12 Pro. iPhone 12 Pro. So that's the type of the product. iPhone what? 12 Pro. Okay. Now we're going to use update command. Since we are updating, we're going to say update with table product set what. So which column are we changing? So it's what the table that we are changing here, the column that we are changing here is the type. Okay, let's review one more time. Increase the price by 12% of the product. So we are changing the price. Okay, you can see we are updating the price by 12%, okay, of this particular product type. So we are going to say update product set what price equals to price times what. So 12% is how many? So we have to calculate this, because look at this, 12%. So let's use calculator here. Okay, so we are going to say 12 divided by 100 equals to what? 0.12 plus 100%. Okay, plus 100%. Sorry, I made a mistake. So 100% is how much? 100% is how much? What is wrong with my calculator? So basically we know that 100% is just one. Okay, that's one. So 12%, 12 divided by 100 equals to 0.1 plus 1% of that is 100% is going to be at 1.12%. So we are going to multiply this by that. Okay, so we are going to say price multiply 1.12. okay, yes, we are going to do this 1.12. okay, now is that the end of the question? Let's see. No, the question for us is the type of the phone is iPhone 12 Pro, because when you only stop here, it's going to update all the price of the product, and we don't want that. We only want the product type iPhone 12 Pro. So update set price equals to price time is 1.12, where what? Where type, that's the product type, where the type is equals to, okay, iPhone 12 Pro. So this 12 Pro must be in what? Quotation, since it is a character of integer, and you can see there's a space here, so I have to eliminate this. It's either use what underscore or use underscore in between them. Altogether, and then you bring your what? Semicolon. So let's go to question number 13. Okay, question number 13 says, what is the email address of the customer with a specific customer ID? So let's identify how many tables do we need here. What is the email address of the customer? We are talking about customer table, right? With a specific customer ID, it's also talking about customer table. So we have what? Still now we are talking about what? Customer table. So let's update here customer, and then since it's talking about what? Email, customer email. So we're going to say email address. Did they give us any email address here? None, because look at it. Okay, what is the email address, because the question in fact is asking us to find the email address of the customer with a specific customer ID, with a specific what customer ID, just like the previous example that we did. Okay, with a specific customer ID. So here we're going to have another column called here what customer ID. So here also this specific customer ID, just like what how we solved it before. So I'm not sure because they didn't give any I don't think so this is a customer ID, but the way the question is framed is kind of weird. If I thought this customer ID is specific customer ID, that's how they name the customer ID, then we're going to use what specific customer ID. In other words, if I thought what they mean, like the customer ID must be a specific or a certain customer ID, you can simply use a particular ID there, for example like 005, 001, something like that. Or you can say is what the customer ID cannot be what null value. Okay, but assuming here I'm doing assumption. I'm assuming that the question is saying like what is the email address of the customer with a specific customer ID. You know, because of the question used the same here with a specific city. And here I'm going to use a specific customer ID. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to write this. Okay. I'm going to say select. Okay. I'm sorry, right now I'm not feeling well. That's why I couldn't sound very well. I'm not feeling well. So I'm going to say select. This is last name. Okay. Let me see. We have here. I think we have here the email address, right? It doesn't have any information, so we are going to just select the email underscore email address, select what email address. Okay, so now this email address from where? From customer table. Select email from customer table where customer ID, where customer ID equals to what? Okay, specific customer ID. Customer ID. And this must be in quotation. And this must be in what? Quotation. Okay. So the question, the way it is framed is kind of weird. Okay. But if the question is talking about a specific customer ID as the ID of this customer, which I'm not sure because of what we know that this customer ID here cannot be in a word, it must be in the form of figure. Okay, that's why the question seems to be weird. So the other option that I have here, okay, if this is correct, I'm not sure, but if at all this is not cannot be worked, you can use what you can say customer ID is equals to not more. You can say the customer ID equals to not known. The customer ID equals to not known. So when you say so customer ID equals to not known, meaning what the customer ID cannot be zero value. Do you understand? It cannot be a zero value. It must have something. Or other might say is, let me assume a customer ID is what 001 as my specific customer ID. So the question is not that clear. That's why I'm using is either days or is either days. Okay, the question is not clear. So let's look at question number 14. Okay, let's look at question number 14. it says what how many customers have the same last name. How many customers have the same last name? So we want to identify how many customers have the same last name. So likewise, the same thing, customer table. Okay, what are the column that we need? We need the last name, because how many customers, okay, has the last name. So we are going to discuss about the last name. How many customers have the same last name? So it means the same last name. Okay, so did they give us any last name? No, we didn't give us any last name. So here is also none. Okay, none. So we are going to write our SQL query. So we are going to say is what, select what. So since we have here last name here, which doesn't have any information, we are going to bring it here. At first we're going to say last name, sorry, last. Okay, select what, last name, comma, count what are we counting, like the previous example that we did. So if we say count like this, it's going to count the number of the occurrence of these last names. Count, bracket open, use what, asterisk b, is going to count the number of the occurrence of this last name. So since the question is asking us, okay, how many customers have the same last name, meaning what, the same last name, sorry. Okay, so we're going to say count of this, and then as what, we're going to give a name as names. Okay, you can say as names, it doesn't matter. From, sorry, we're going to select this information from where, from customer, from customer, and we're going to say group by. Group by is an SQL command. Whenever you want to arrange something in chronological order, ascending or descending, you can use group by. You can say group by last name. Okay, group by last name. So having is also an SQL command. So the reason why we are using having here, because of what, the questions. The question, how many customers have, you can see this word, have the same last name, have the same last name. That's why we are using what, having. So having having, can use what, count, having with count. So we are going to use the same asterisk here, having count, the same asterisk, greater than what, 1, greater than 1. So what this means, I will explain. Greater than 1, okay, and semicolon. Okay, so when you say select the last name, basically we're talking about what, the surname of the customer. When you say count with bracket open, this asterisk sign, it means what, the occurrence, the number of occurrence of this last name, because we want to know how many of the customers they are similar with the same last name. So as what, names. So sorry, as what, let me use as what, last names. Let me use something that is similar to the question. How many customers have the same last name? So I'm going to say is as names, or let me say as similar, names, or similar L name, that's last name. Okay, from customer, so I want to say group by. So I want to group this by last name, and these last names are what, those having what, more than one, because this is what, how many of the customers have the same last name. So we assume that is more than one. Okay, so having what, count, this the same count here, greater than 1, it means like our last names that appears more than once. So that's this having here. Okay, it's kind of a busy day. I'm not feeling well, as I just told you, but anyways, I believe the exam will be fine. So we're going to discuss number 15 in our next tutorial, in our next version. Okay,